We are live for another Best Ball Mania live stream and middle of Game 7. So we're definitely
without Corey.
Competing against
I'm sure
viewership.
We'll win those ratings battles. For sure. But
No
all
doubt
right,
about
let's hop
that.
into a draft here. That game seems like it's getting out of hand.
That was a tough end of the quarter for the Pacers.
Yeah. The spread was 5.5 at halftime. I took it. We'll see what happens.
We shall see. Pacers need to stop turning the ball over.
I was going to say, Obi Toppin needs to show up.
Yeah. They really, really started to feel not having Hallie that last quarter. It's just like no ball handling. 8 turnovers in a quarter is insane in the finals.
Yeah, that's why, like, at halftime, I was like, the spread closed, I think, like 6.5, maybe, like before the game. And then Hallie is out.
Right.
And I think it was like a tie game, or maybe they were down 1, and it was 5.5. So I'm like, I'll just take the Thunder here and hope they can pull away down the stretch.
Should have taken the money line.
It was minus 270.
Oh.
I took them minus 5.5, not plus 5.5.
It might have been worse than before the game. I think it was only like 235 when it started.
No, because it closed. The line was like minus 6.5, so it was probably like minus like 280, 290.
What did we do? The 22nd?
I'm not telling you.
Find out. It's feeling.
It's going to be extremely risky if I enter the 22nd. We're in the 30.
Yeah. Okay.
At least I can pay attention to the same screen.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I see why you asked now, Nick.
No, I'll give it a minute.
Yeah, see, there you go. There's 3 people left. Dun, dun.
I need PB to do the math on my expected EV if I have exposure here and to my own team. What's
Corey can't. Corey can't join the stream, but he can comment while watching the game.
Maybe a guest appearance.
You could literally come on here and just sit and watch the game, and that's all. That's all you have to do.
I don't think he wants to subject himself to your commentary.
I'm not watching the fourth quarter because I'm doing the stream. I'll keep up with the score at the end, but it's a 13-point game. Like
I don't know. Something tells me you might have a few comments in your back pocket for him.
Every time he's been on the stream watching the game, I've never commented on the Pacers. And how many times has he been watching it in the background?
It has like lined up almost perfectly.
Yeah, every stream
every night.
It's because the NBA saw our viewership on these streams and they're like, all right, this must be prime time. So I don't blame them.
They're on to us.
You got to follow the smart money, right?
It's true.
All right, 4 spot. You guys like Bijan or C? I feel like I have so little CD Lamb this year.
That's a mistake.
Which I don't love.
I think I might just start taking CD over Jefferson like every time. Like I'm considering it because like
really,
yeah.
Well, you're like totally out on JJ McCarthy, but
yeah, that's my main reasoning. It's like I've seen CD do it over and over again with Dak. Dak is still his quarterback. And Dak will probably be less mobile because of his injury. Like he should be passing even more. I don't know. I'm fine with either one here though. Doesn't matter.
We have 1 share of CD, no shares of Bijan.
Okay, let's go Bijan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I think CD's awesome, but this is the best wide receiver 2 he's ever worked with. Do you think
but
back to ceiling?
No, because CD's always going to get his his target share, like all of that is always going to be the same. Pickens just takes from all the other guys more, and it allows CD to get opened up more. Like Pickens can take the top off of defense. I think they like when I saw that trade, I was like, I could not think of a duo that like complement each other so well as CD and Pickens.
Very much like a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins type of setup. Like pretty comparable 1A, 1B type receivers.
Yeah. Just, Pickens, that downfield threat, contested catch beast. CD can kind of play all over the place.
I'm gonna say he could do everything.
But you can, it's nice when he can play out of the slot and stuff. So yeah. I've been thinking about it more. I'm like, I have my fades on CMC, Genty. Those are, I think, is that the first round? I think those are my two main ones. So just doing that alone, you immediately become with the field or overweight on every other player in the first round, which feels good. But I think JJ, I'm considering like fading Justin Jefferson.
That's wild.
Can't say I agree on that, but
Yeah.
I'm probably equally as bullish as you are bearish on JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm just not there with McCarthy, and I've seen it with Dak over and over and over again.
You'll see in good time what
We're on the
JJ's
clock.
capable of. I like T more than
I would
Rush.
pick T. Yeah, I'll take T over Rice every time in the second.
Me too.
In the second, I think Rashee Rice has gotten a little bit out of hand.
He really jumped there after the no suspension stuff came out, right?
Well, it's that, and just that he's full go in practice, and
Got it.
he was going at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth at the start of EBM.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's really climbed.
Yeah, he's been one of the biggest risers.
Maserati Marv.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, I'm good with
It's hard to draft
Tyreek or Marvin Harrison for me.
I'll take Marv all day.
All right, we'll go with the correlation, I guess. I'm way back in on Tyreek though, just with some of the recent videos I've seen of him.
I mean, it's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but there was concern about just how last year played out. Like, because like speedy receivers, I feel like hit that like age cliff faster than other types of receivers because you like speed seems to just be one of those traits that goes earlier, and he just set like a PR.
That's crazy. Did he finally race that?
No,
US
the other guy backed out on him.
He backed out.
I think so.
Noah Lyles.
Yeah. And he's been posting like, "Where are you, Noah? Where are you?"
Scared.
He's advocating for Jalen Ramsey to come back to the Dolphins.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Completely changed his tune from get me out of this place.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's crazy.
Tyreek's he's been a guy all offseason. I've said like he's either like I don't see him being a guy that's like, oh yeah, he's an average advance rate guy. Like I think he's either a horrible pick because he does end up with this age cliff, like gets an injury, whatever, and he's just an awful pick, or he should be a first round pick, and he's gonna have one of the best advance rates in the third round.
He certainly has the highest ceiling in the third, in my opinion. Maybe Breece Hall is the only other guy that I would say. But I think Breece Hall's going to have a huge bounce back here.
Yeah, I like a lot of the third round. Terry McLaurin might be my least favorite of. Yeah, Terry McLaurin is my least favorite of all of them.
I don't like Devontae.
Yeah, I'll take Adams over Terry all day. Yeah, we should. That would be a fun exercise. Go through each round and say our least favorite pick,
or favorite,
or a favorite or least favorite. But sometimes it's harder to find the favorite because like you like more guys than you like really hate and dislike guys. So I think it's easier to pick like your least favorite.
That's true.
That's usually how I build a lot of my positions. Like there are definitely guys that I'll vote Metcalf, but I'm fine with Jameson too.
I don't think we have any JMO. We took DK last time. I was on. But I'm fine with either.
I'll do Metcalf. I was just gonna say because
Alex wanted Jameson, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he just let that hover there.
Slow click, kind of like my.
Well, it was on 0. I don't know if it was gonna. I didn't.
I think it gives you. It's like it hits 0, but it's weird. It gives you like an extra few seconds to fiddle around.
It's like, hey, are you there?
Yeah, like all right.
You sure you want to auto draft this?
Yeah, Nick, Corey, and I sent in our pick to Nick last draft with like 14 seconds left, and
still didn't get it in.
Nick couldn't get it in. we kept, and not only that, he knew the structure of the draft. We had 4 like amazing running backs, and we're like, we don't need a running back the rest of the draft. And then
we want to go Pickens or Sutton here. Not to interrupt.
I'll say Pickens.
Nick, you say Sutton?
Yeah.
You tie break.
I like Pickens, though. I'm not going to be.
We were talking about Pickens, so let's just grab him.
All right. So the context to that situation, though, Alex, is we had 4 old running backs.
Glad you could help, Corey. Williams, Sutton.
The context was we had 4 old running backs. We had like Joe Mixon, Jalen Warren, like all guys that could potentially like not be so consistent, just like due to injury or age.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I think we should go 5 like we should get one more running back because PB was like very keen on getting like 47 receivers.
No, I thought we needed another receiver.
He thought we needed like 12.
No, 9. I thought we needed 9 instead of 8.
9.
I think
we took our first
good round, and one of my favorite handcuffs, Braylon Allen, was sitting there.
Oh no!
And I was just like, oh, I better
13 seconds of that.
I better fumble this a few more seconds.
He was like clicking
on the wrong tab.
We told Nick, all right, you don't need to have running back checked. Like you're not looking, and then he just solely checks running back. So and then he's fumbling back and forth, and it was awful. But
sometimes when you're in a position of power,
Nick was worried our 4 stud running backs with early draft capital would get injured, so we need Braylon Allen. So he's basically saying like our team would be falling apart, and Braylon Allen would just somehow save the day.
He could.
That's hilarious.
You shouldn't bank on your own. Just every draft you do, you shouldn't bank on that player getting injured.
No, of course not. But
that's what you did with our 4 studs.
There's nothing wrong with building depth with high upside. That's what you should try to do. That's what you were doing at receiver.
Do we take our first Burrow share?
Yeah, I would say Burrow.
Judy. Yeah, every time.
Yeah, this is right after this. You have the tier break: Addison, Judy, Jacoby. But obviously, I'm not as in on Addison. So Judy and Jacoby are like, I love being able to get one of them before the tier break.
I actually like Judy and Jacoby Myers a little bit more than Addison, just because you get clear wide receiver ones. I think like T. Higgins might be the only exception where I'm like, oh, wide receiver 2 is like better than half the wide receiver ones on the NFL. But Jordan Addison, I don't know. He does have back-to-back 180-point seasons, which is pretty good.
Yeah, but I could see him getting suspended 3 or 4 on top of having a quarterback I don't really like that much.
I just feel like he's gonna fall a little bit once he gets suspended. People are gonna be like, "Oh,
All right, I guess.
Me too.
Well, do we take Judkins?
I say we go Judkins because we have Judy, and then we could pick up our first share of Shador Sanders late."
Okay, well, we're doing Jacoby if that's the
We're
plan.
obviously getting Joe Flacco.
Oh, the Brownies.
So it sounds like Dylan Sampson's going to play more of the Kareem Hunt role. He's been practicing a lot with the receiving room.
That's kind of what he was profiled to do.
Yeah, but just kind of like confirmation that things are trending in that order. And Judkins will be the new Nick Chubb workhorse back. So
Yes.
it's a good call, James.
Very touchdown dependent on that 180-point season.
I think the Vikings are all overpriced. Like besides Aaron Jones and maybe Jordan Mason, I think they're all a bit overpriced.
I'm not a big Aaron Jones guy. He's 30 this year. They just brought in Jordan Mason. I feel like his workload could get split down to 50-50 so quick.
I think one of them will end up being a good pick.
I like Jordan Mason more, honestly, just the ADP value, because I think he has more of an opportunity to gain market share on that team and as far as touches go. And I think Aaron Jones is in the perfect spot to lose.
I mean, yeah, I think Jordan Mason's going to get some of that goal line work for sure.
Yeah.
But their price tags are just in such good ranges of the draft where there's plenty of upside in there.
Do we want to start looking at maybe like Kyler Murray here?
Yes, if Kyler's there, I'm for sure down to take him.
Okay.
We're looking at Dak, Goff. Yeah, Kyler's huge to this team.
Yeah, I think Kyler and Dak would be a nice stack.
Dak with Ferguson too.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Kyler teams.
I think he's priced right.
I'm in on Kyler. I think Kyler's one of the best quarterback picks. Like he goes in the range of the draft that I don't like. I'm not like dying to click IU, Cup, Jaden Higgins, Keon Coleman, Purdy,
I will not click
Tracy.
Like,
this is like the quarterback pocket. Like I love Mahomes. I don't get Mahomes as often as I'd like to because I don't take Worthy and Rice really, but you can do the double click of Mahomes, Kelsey, and then get Hollywood later.
I will not have any Cooper Kupp or Higgins in this range.
Yeah, I won't have any Higgins. I'll have a little Cooper Kupp, but
we're up here, boys.
I'll take Jordan. I'm down for Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I'd vote him or ETN. We could probably spark a nice debate on Tootin versus ETN.
I don't think it'll be a debate. I'm in on. I take all the Jaguars running backs. I think Tootin has the most upside. I think ETN has the highest floor. I think Tank is the 0 RB like upside pick late if ETN gets traded, or
just something. I don't think there's going to be many trades, if any, at this point.
No, it could be like a mid-season trade though.
Yeah, but that typically happens only like if a team's for sure out of the playoff race and some contenders like really pushing for it. I just don't think the Jaguars are going to go like 0-5. Be terrible. I think they'll be decent. Competitive.
Yeah.
I really like ETN though. I think he could be like him and Jaylen Warren are the running backs I think could win you or help you advance in round 9.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of some of these. Let's go to my least favorite pick. Warren's probably one of my favorites. Jaden Higgins for sure my least favorite. Keon Coleman's up there. Those are my least favorite. Keon and Higgins. In the 8th round, Brandon Ayuk or Cup are my least favorite. 7th round, Caleb Johnson or Ricky Pearsall is number 1.
Ricky P, yeah.
Caleb Johnson's probably second, least favorite. James
I like
Conner.
Josh Jones. I like Diggs.
Yeah, I don't really like Diggs a whole lot, but I like him more than like Ayuk and stuff. Sixth round has some really good picks, like guys like I love Judy, Olave. I don't know, Chris Godwin. I haven't been taking really. James Conner, I'm out on. Matthew Golden, I'm out on.
You go Dak here.
Yep.
Yeah, if we can.
Work off.
If not, I would say Sharps or Javante.
Agreed. To go with, well, I guess we don't get Dak. We would have just a random Dallas stack, but that's fine.
So we'll have to get a third QB if we go Goff here, both week 8 buys.
But attack win, gosh.
I'd rather get Javante.
I would go Charbonnet.
Let's go Sharps. Nice fine glass.
Leaves us some opportunity to get Jaden Blue later on, anyways.
We could go Drake May. I think Drake May is like an easy guy to click. Oh, I'm trying to think. Do we just?
I don't know. I'd rather do like if we're gonna do just like a random QB stack, I'd rather push it.
Yeah, but Drake May, his stacking partners are later. Like, who are we getting? Stafford is like, okay, I think we have to go Goff, actually.
And then grab like Danny Dimes or something late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Shador.
Not sure.
Yeah, but think of how much leverage you'd have on the field if you make the playoffs and Shador's the starter the last 3 years and you have a Judy piece.
All the leverage that you'd have off of those weekly 11 points.
11 points per quarter, maybe.
When Kyler just outscores him by 20.
No. Look at that.
No.
Let's change the subject.
No. Look at what?
I said, look at that QB.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, that's when I was like, we got to just take a stacking partner with Goff, and we can try to go Michael Penix with Bijan and Pitts, maybe. Or is Bijan around 8 too? I forget his buy.
5.
Okay, so yeah, probably Penix, Bijan, Pitts.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Our running back room is really solid. Like our receivers.
Yeah, we could probably use some tight end help.
Yeah, but I mean, this is where I'm perfectly fine pushing tight end. Like, to me, every draft I do where I'm like, oh, I don't have a tight end yet, I'm like, oh, that's perfectly fine with me. I'll take 3 of any of these guys and be really happy.
I'm really nervous to see I have like all those German Shepherds and Schnauzers finishing up in slow drafts. I know I'm just going to come in with an egregious amount of Ray Davis.
I can't wait.
I think he was already top 3 for me, like over 35%. That number is going to be close to at least half.
Dude, I think we go. Well, what can I see that draft board again? I want to see our numbered picks.
148 after this,
and then 165.
Yeah,
we could go running back Pitts and then running back Penix and then push Pitts. But
I want to trade Benson with our stacks.
Maybe it would be Goddard. Like, he's kind of like a tier break kind of after him, unlikely. If we could get Goddard, Penix, and Pitts in this order, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
First leg, check.
Benson would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have Benson.
CJ Stroud falling a little bit. That helps us out.
Leg 2. Check. Come on, Pitts.
Have you guys drafted any Deontay Johnson?
No. Been seeing a little
I don't know.
fantasy football community steam behind a similar type of name, Raheem Mostert.
Why him?
Yeah.
Because he's the clear RB2.
But he's so old, and I don't. Why is he the clear RB2? Because they have Zamir White and Sincere McCormick, who they both liked. They were always talking up, especially McCormick kind of came on at the end.
Yeah,
reports or Mostert is the 2.
Who said that?
I can pull it up for you, bud. We want to start
fact checking.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm what you said. The fantasy, is it just like the fantasy football community just hovering around
on Twitter, and then it's the fantasy or what is it, Football Guys? Yeah, Football Guys always. There's like a daily email where they just drop headlines. So the source is Sports Illustrated. Let me pop it up here. I mean, it's a completely new
in the opinion of Hondo. So it's just one.
I saw some tweets too. Are we like
no? I'm not saying like what you saw. I'm just wondering, like the fantasy football community just hovered around this guy, hovered around Raheem Mostert, and I'm just like, that's an interesting thing that became popular, just because of.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, because that seems like a bad click to me.
Okay, we're on the clock here.
Oh, Pitts is gone.
Damn. Yep.
Maybe Strange.
Braylon Allen.
We kind of need a tight end though.
Yeah. See, I like taking Cam Ward late.
Yeah.
And then you could get him with like Chig and like whatever wide receiver 2 you think is going to be the best.
Yeah, James, I agree. I think I don't agree where you said Genty doesn't have unless he gets hurt, Genty doesn't have a backup worth rostering, because there's plenty of backs. Like we're taking Will Shipley in the 170s because the only way he's relevant is if Saquon gets injured. So there's guys that what?
And AJ Dillon.
Right, or whichever one you think. I'm saying the only reason you draft them is like you think like, oh well, if they get injured, I have an amazing pick. But I think the Raiders is a situation where it's like, to me, it could be any of those three: Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, Sincere McCormick. So it's just a way thinner bet that you're having to like Genty gets injured and then get Demario
or Michael Wilson.
Well, you can get him next.
Probably not.
Why not?
I mean, he's going to have to fall.
What's his ADP?
186.
Oh, for some reason 81. I thought he must have been climbing because I thought he was in the 190s. But I don't know. Demario's been getting quite a bunch of hype out of Patriots camp.
Pop?
Yeah.
Pop Douglas?
He'll be solid.
He's a speedy little fella.
Maybe he can learn something from Diggs. I don't know. Like, he had all the opportunity last year and just didn't really.
I mean, it was Drake May's rookie year. anticipating him taking a step forward.
Yeah. He could also just be like decent at best. Like pretty below average again.
James he's off the Shipley train. Rather click guys who can work their way to the top in an ambiguous backfield, Milan guy, Taj Brooks, etc., and bet on an injury, especially in the 170s.
James, I don't think I've ever agreed with someone more consistently than you.
See, well,
I'm a big Taj Brooks guy as well.
We can agree to disagree with that one. You can explain Manungai. You have Roshan ahead of him. Taj Brooks. You have
P. Ryan. Like DJ Giddens, for example, would be a good pick here because he's going to have some level of involvement on a week-to-week basis, and then if Jonathan Taylor goes down, he's like the clear workhorse. But I think he has some semblance of a game plan. Like his production's not going to be completely banking off like one or two injuries.
No, I like that.
There's handcuffs with more upside. Like a Tyler Algier is a perfect example of like a guy.
He goes in the 150s.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like he has so much more value than like a Will Shipley or whatever.
Yeah, but you have certain...
And they're priced that way. I'm not saying that.
The most expensive guys that are just like contingent injury, like they have to get injured for them to be relevant, are going to be the guys like Shipley. They have the best offensive line. Like it's going to be someone like him.
Yeah, I just like A.J. Dillon a little bit more than Shipley. But
do we go Schultz first and then Ray?
Yeah,
I think so.
When did Pitts get sniped from us?
He just went between that round. He needed to fall for us to get him. I guess it was fairly close.
6 picks ahead of us.
What do we really need here?
We're getting
Ray probably. We have a Falcons pass catcher.
What does the rest of the team look like?
We're working with Kyler, Goff, and Penix. Bijan at the 4 spot. Judkins, Mason, Sharps, DJ. So 2 workhorses, 3 solid backups in split backfields, and potential for
handcuffs.
Some work and handcuffs. Yeah. T, Maserati, Marv, JMO, Pickens, Judy, Pop. I like that wide receiver room a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully
Ray. Boom or bust room.
Yeah, a lot of ceiling potential there. And then Goddard, Strange, Schultz at tight end.
Yeah.
Pickens is going to have like 3 games this year that are like
30, 40 points.
I was going to say like 30, 40 points where he catches like 2 touchdowns and 150 yards.
Yeah.
One of them's just like an 85-yard touchdown.
Well, Corey and I can agree there, but unfortunately he doesn't go in the last round anymore. He's been climbing. He's been climbing ever since our first draft when we were talking about him.
The people know that the fantasy football formula knows.
We're pretty sharp.
They know, Nick, you can keep yourself out of that conversation. You can if Shipley hits. If Shipley hits, I don't know if
I'll eat my words if Shipley hits. No problem.
Clip that, chat. Clip that.
I have no problem doing that, but I'll get burned there.
All right, we got Ray there at the end.
Nick reluctantly holding his $500,000 check or whatever it is after Shipley hits. Got to get a.
Would that be funny if I snuck a team in there and that's what won the million?
Oh, like you
I would never hear the end of that.
You solo win it, not even our joint team. Like you solo win it on a separate team.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
That would be something. You wouldn't hear the end of it, and you would have to buy a Shipley jersey.
Get his face tattooed on like your shoulder or something.
Stick with the jersey.
All right, that'll do it for this draft. We'll be back on Tuesday, same time. Hopefully Corey will be with us for that draft. No more Pacers games, so I think he should be back in full.
And one on that.
On that
Yeah.
note.